Doogie, my friend, so sorry that happened. We had some crazy weather this morning, man. Kind of messed things up a bit for us, to be honest.
Things happen.
That's the Midwest for you because, it's been 100 degrees all summer and then you get these random storms. I don't know how much time you spent in the Midwest of America, but man, you never know what you're going to get here.
Well, here we are, and a good thing too.
It really is. I hope everything is going great with you. How's your summer been so far? What's been going on? I know a lot's going on with Alcatrazz. We're going to get to that, but what else have you been up to, man? How's it been going?
Well, we bought a new house, and so we've been sorting that out and getting the garden all into good and painting, DIY, and for the last 6 weeks I've been doing a lot of interviews as well, and it's funny how your voice. I mean, I'm used to singing 6 shows a night. It's 6 shows a night. Dear God, that would kill me. Six shows a week. 3 nights on, 1 night off. Blah blah blah. And but talking for 2-3 hours every day has taken its toll on my wee cords.
They always say that they usually try to use someone else to do interviews. They don't like, especially during recording sessions or when someone's on tour. You don't want your singer out there wasting their voice with people like me. Come on, there's crap, but we certainly appreciate it, and I know how taxing that gets, man. But what as far as Alcatrazz goes, this is ambiguous because we live in an era of uncertainty, shall we say. What do you guys, have you heard about possible live performances? What's kind of your goals for 2022 or late 2021 as far as kind of getting back out there goes?
Well, we have a UK tour booked for November now. It's been getting moved. I mean, it was supposed to be the tour that was going to be promoting the previous album, the Born Innocent album, that Graham was going to do, and it just keeps getting moved because of the pandemic. So at the moment it's booked in for November time. So hopefully, it's all pandemic, it's all virus related,
Of course.
The idea, the album comes out in October.
Yep.
So when that comes out, then we'll see what interest comes from different territories, and we'll make plans according to how the interest is, and hopefully get out and play. I like to record albums to go to play. Live work is where I'm at the happiest.
Absolutely correct. Just kind of talk about you and how this Alcatrazz comes to be, because rock aficionados know, of course, obviously, Graham Bonnet, legendary singer as well. You guys have 6 degrees of Graham Bonnet and Doogie White. You guys have connections all over the place, and you wind up taking over for him in Alcatrazz. What was the genesis of this, and what's been your level of just of happiness being in this band as they're getting set to release this new album 5?
Well, great. To preface all this, Graham's been a friend of mine for years, and we've been good friends. And he stayed at my house, and he's broken my staircase, and he's one of these guys that when he goes to the bathroom, right, and you hear help, help, he's pulled the doorknob off on the inside. He goes through periods in his life when it's like that. But he was up in Edinburgh and with Alcatrazz on the last tour, and we went out for coffee together, and he said, I just don't want to do this anymore. He says, it's not my kind of music. I don't like it. I didn't like it when I was doing it with Malmsteen. I didn't like it when I was doing it with Ian. I'm not enjoying it now. And so he's gone off to redo the Graham Bonnet band, which gives him a wee bit more scope,
sure,
away from the kind of metal that is like a nail down a blackboard to him. And so I was just finishing up another album, actually. Long Shadows Dawn is the project. The album is Isle of Wrath, and it came out on Friday on Frontiers. They're distributing it for us. And I was just finishing that, and the Alcatrazz guys phoned me and said, look, Graham's quit. We've got touring commitments. Can we do it? And then, of course, the pandemic wiped out all the touring. And I said, well, look, why don't we just record a new album? I mean, if Graham's not coming back and you guys are wanting to do an album, I'm happy to do an album. You know, I'll join in the fun. So they sent me over 3 or 4 different ideas that were very strong. And the first one we did together was Turn of the Wheel. And that came out, that was released about 6 or 8 weeks ago as a video. And I don't know if they still do singles, Clint?
Yeah, they still call them singles.
They still call them
there's
singles,
still a
right?
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
It's ever changing, of course, but yeah.
Right. Well, it's out there. That's out there, and Sword of Deliverance are out there.
Yes.
They're on YouTube under the Alcatrazz. And I mean, that just gives people an indication and a flavour of where we're going with this 2021-22 Alcatrazz.
Well, it's garnished a lot of excitement. A lot of people are really excited about kind of this version of Alcatrazz, which is just, it's gone through so many changes over the years. So many band members have been in there, legendary musicians. What does it mean to you as somebody, kind of like your journey here has been, there could be a movie made about it, of all the things that you've done. I mean, from Yngwie to Michael Schenker to Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, that's kind of where it all started. When you look back at these last 30 years, what has this journey kind of been like for you? Is it hard to kind of look back on it and take in everything that you've done? Are you more of a day-to-day kind of guy, or do you just step back sometimes and just revel in all these wonderful things?
I'm a very much a day-to-day guy.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm doing interviews like this, then it does bring up things that you remember, and it's been a great journey for me. It's been magical. It's not over by any means.
Exactly.
But it's been a fascinating journey, and to work with just those 3 guys that you mentioned has been a joy for me. And if I was with Richie for 3.5 years, and with Yngwie for nearly 7, and with Michael for 9, it's not as if but if you're on the road only for 6 months with either one of those guys, writing and recording, and then 4 months of gigging, touring, there's still 6 months left where you have to find something to do. And I like to work. I like to sing. I like to create. I wouldn't be pompous enough to say that I'm an artist, but I like to be creative, and I like to work with people who I enjoy. And so I do sessions for people. I still do occasional adverts for different things. I'm a singer by trade. That's what I do. I work with rock stars. And apart from Japan, I can pretty much go anywhere I like and nobody recognizes me, which suits me just fine.
Well, you mentioned the work you did with Michael Schenker and Temple of Rock, which was tremendous. But I got to ask you about the Michael Schenker Fest, which I saw twice in Vegas in 2018, which was just tremendous. Because I'm such a fan of Gary Barden, I'm such a fan of Graham Bonnet, and certainly of Robin McCauley, who's one of my favorite singers of all time. And then to have yourself included as well to round out the full circle of Michael Schenker singers. It was something that you never thought you would ever see. What an ambitious effort it was to bring all of you guys out and to do this thing, to hear everything from UFO right up to Temple of Rock. What was that experience like for you personally? You talk about singing 6 nights a week. You might have had to do that, but at least you had some time off in the middle of the gig. At least you didn't have to carry the gig.
Yeah. It was, I thought it was very brave. I thought it was a very brave thing for Michael to do, and very ambitious as well, but it worked.
Yes.
Because you don't know how people are going to be when you put them all in a room together. Michael had come to me and he said, look, I'm going to go, when we did the last show of Temple and Rock in, I think, Denmark. And he said, I'm going to go and do something else now. And I said, okay. And he said, but I might call on you. And I said, okay. And he went away and he did touring gigs and festivals in Japan with the Michael Schenker Fest without recording anything. And then it came to recording an album, and that's when he called me up and he said, look, you know, you and I have always written really well together. Would you come in, be part of the Michael Schenker Fest and write 3 songs for the Michael Schenker Fest album? And I said, yes, of course I will. And so that's what we did. Graham wrote 3, I wrote 3, Gary wrote 3, and Robin wrote 3. And then I think there were 2, they were called all songs, where we all just go in and sing together, you know. But it was great fun. There was no egos at all. And everybody mucks in. I mean, it's not us that are selling the tickets. I mean, let's face it, it's not my name that's on the ticket or on the billboard, you know. And so Michael's very creative in finding ways to keep the interest going. You know, he's put the Fest on hold, he's put Temple of Rock on hold, and he's now out with a new lineup of the Michael Schenker Group, or MSG, if you like. And, you know, he might do an album or 2 with them. Who knows? I don't know what's going on. I think it's a bit creepy to follow, you know, when you're not with somebody, it's a bit creepy to follow them. It's a bit like standing outside your church when your girlfriend's marrying your friend. You know?
Oh, I've been there, Doogie. Trust me. I'm such a fan of Michael and everything he's done. I thought seeing you and everybody, the singers, were tremendous. But Michael's somebody that I've had on this show multiple times, and I feel like I don't know him at all. And that's not to say that he's not nice or not engaging. I just wonder what he's like to work with, because in the times that we've had him on, I know a couple things about Michael. He doesn't like his brother, and he loves playing guitar. That's all I've ever learned in the times we've had him. What is Michael like on a personal level to work with? And do you feel that there's a kind of a distance there that he keeps with singers, because he's had such a history with all you singers? What's it like, your personal story to work with him?
I think it's his nature. He's very friendly.
Yeah.
He doesn't travel with the band. We see him at sound check. We see him at the gig, and we don't hang out. I mean, I think I can count on 2 fingers how many times him and I have actually eaten together. You know, but I think that's nothing. It's not an ego thing. It's just the way he lives his life. He is so immersed in what he does. Out of all the guitar players and all the bands I've ever been in, Michael's the one that works everybody the hardest. You know, he has a very driven vision of what he wants, and you're expected to know what you're doing when you go in there, and all we're doing is fine tuning it. You know, that's just how he works. Ted Mckenna, who was the drummer on one of the Fest albums, he died, and Michael came up to Scotland for his funeral. Him and Emmy came up, you know, and everybody was, you know, people were coming over and saying hello, and he's a lovely, friendly guy. He just doesn't say very much unless it's musical, and that's fine. And that makes it good, because you know that you don't have to make small talk. You know, I mean, well, I would, you know,
I like that.
Well, I would never ask him, you know, what kind of plectrums do you use? He's not interested. What kind of strings do you use? I don't care. You know. However, I did say I was going for a walk once, and he said, if you see any Marshall heads like this one in white, buy it for me. All right. Yeah, okay. I'll come and tell you it's there. You can go and buy it yourself, son.
Oh, that is great. I love to hear that perspective. So as we look to the release of 5 from Alcatrazz, it's October 15th. Want to make sure everybody knows that. What in this day and age, I feel like I always have to ask this question when there's a new release coming out, because music is so different. The music industry's changed so much. We know that. Will there be a physical copy that people can get? What's kind of the layout for this new album, or what's the best way for people to get it? And can people go pre-order it right now?
At the moment, I have no further information. It's as far as I am aware, for the next 10 days or so, it's all embargoed. So I have no further we just did the photographs 2 weeks ago. So I haven't even seen the mock-up of the sleeve yet. So I don't know. It's early days. It's only August. I don't think it comes out until October.
Yep. A couple months to go. Yeah.
So,
and
we've got to get a look at we've got to get a look at the sleeve, we've got to get a look at the photographs that we're going to use. I've sent the lyrics over. All the details are there, but there's nothing physical yet. But it will be released, I believe, as a CD. Whether it will be on vinyl, I have no idea. And I don't know what other platforms it will be coming out on, because I don't have that information yet.
Well, I want to make sure everybody can go follow that. Yeah, on the website, it's alcatrazofficial.com. And you can keep up to date on that. It's got all the tour dates listed, which coming up here in November, which is awesome. Absolutely can't wait for that, Doogie. This is to see you in this gig, to see you doing this is tremendous. But and I got to bring this up. I know you're a day-to-day guy. I know that looking back is sometimes a fool's errand, but I've got to ask you about this because I'm such a huge Iron Maiden fan. I know you auditioned for the band when Blaze Bayley wound up getting the gig. So I've got to ask you about it. I just wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't.
No,
I'm such a fan.
No, yeah.
So
I just don't do it in my personal life.
There you go. You mean exactly. Me either. That's why I have so many ex-wives. So Blaze Bayley joins Iron Maiden. In hindsight, I think that I love Blaze Bayley. I love what he did. I like Wolf's Bane. I love what he did.
Yeah.
For one, and this changes too many things, and it doesn't make sense to live in a what if land forever, but I think you would have been a tremendous choice. I would love to have heard your vocals on I thought he struggled in some of the older stuff that you would have been great at, as I've heard snippets of it over the years. Take us through your experience, and if there a disappointment when you didn't get that gig, because you were just coming out of Richie Blackmore's Rainbow just a couple years prior, right?
No. I was in Belgium recording an album for a band. I can't even remember the name now. And we were there for a month in a residential studio there. And I got a phone. It was before emails. It was before mobile phones. And I got a phone call from a friend of mine saying that Bruce would be leaving Iron Maiden at the end of the tour, and I should send a tape in. So I finished the album, went home, made a tape up, sent it into Sanctuary, and I got a knock on the door on a Friday night, and it was the production manager who came to see me, and he said, "Where do you think you're going?" And I said, "Well, I was going to go to the pub." And he said, "No, you're going to be singing with Iron Maiden on Monday. Learn these songs. Here's the lyrics. Here's a cassette." So I spent 72 hours learning Iron Maiden songs as best as I could. And I went up. He came around, and Dickie Bell was his name. And Dickie came around and picked me up on the Monday morning and drove me up to Steve's place in Harlow. And I just walked in there and met all the guys. We had a cup of tea and a biscuit and a chat. And then all hell broke loose, and I was singing with the greatest metal band in the world. It was an extraordinary. It was extraordinary. And we took a break and went and had more tea and biscuits. And then we went back in and did it all again. And I had a chat with Steve, and, he just wanted to know my sort of background and what I was, And at that time I was completely unknown, known within the sort of rock circle of London or Scotland, but not internationally at all. Whereas Blaze had toured with Wolfsbane with Maiden. So they had an idea of what he could do. I mean, I was a complete unknown, but they just liked my voice. So they asked me back in again. And then a couple of weeks after that, Steve phoned me up and said, "Look, we've given the job to Blaze. Thank you for coming along and showing an interest. And good luck going forward. Don't tell anybody." And so I didn't tell anybody. And then that was probably just coming up to Christmas, 93. And then, I joined Rainbow in April 94, which was completely disconnected from anything.
Sure.
That was nothing to do with it.
Well, that is fascinating for sure. The career speaks for itself, Doogie. And I tell you, before we let you go, my friend, we got to hit you with our final 4 drum roll, which is 4 quick questions. And you just give us whatever comes to mind. We'll have some fun with it. What do you say?
Okay.
Okay, Doogie, you grow up, of course, in Scotland. What is the first album that you remember buying with your own money, or that you stole? Either one.
The Man Who Sold the World, because I thought I was 12 years old and I thought Starman was on it.
I love that. Oh, that's great. Well, you surely came back and bought that later, I guess, right? What do you remember the first concert you ever attended, the first gig you ever saw live?
The first concert I ever went to was in Motherwell Civic Centre in 1972. It was a band called Nazareth.
Of course. Yes.
But the story is, my brother's friend's grandmother had bought tickets because she thought she was going to see Jesus Christ Superstar. Right?
What? That's great.
Well, hang on. It was Nazareth. There was a picture of them all looking like Ian Gillan in the local paper, and they had a song up called "Broken Down Angel." Right. So she
connected
thought,
the dots. Yeah.
She being the good God-fearing woman that she was, bought 4 tickets for the family to all go and see Nazareth until she found out what they really were about, and she gave us the tickets. So we went to see Nazareth.
That's amazing. That's one of my favorite first concert stories I've ever heard. Is there a song from Alcatrazz 5, one that you're most maybe looking forward to performing live, or one that's really sticking out right now that's one of your favorites? Is there a certain song that's hitting you right now?
Today's song is Black Rose, which
great
is
song.
It's brilliant. It's got so many different little parts and little elements to it that I just love it. Sorry, it's not called. You see, it's so new to me. It's not called Black Rose at all. It's called Black Heart.
Oh, I got the track list right here. Black Heart.
Black Heart. It is. Black Heart. Yes.
It is. I mean, you haven't got the sleeve yet. I mean, no wonder. I mean, I got it right here. Yes, Black Heart, and that's track 5 on the album for those ready that are going to get that. Tremendous. So, in the last year and a half, we know craziness, lockdowns, whatever. Is there a show or shows on streaming that you've had a chance to catch up on in the last year and a half that you otherwise maybe wouldn't have seen, or are you much of a TV guy even at all?
The certain genres of music lend themselves to being in a studio like that on the TV. I don't know that a rock or a metal band going in and standing in front of no one, headbanging away, is what I would want to watch. I watched a great singer-songwriter who I've enjoyed for many years called Lyra Lynn. My wife, I actually did a festival with these girls, a band called Larkin Poe.
Yes.
Who
awesome.
And my favorite band at the moment, another American band, and I actually went to Berlin to see them because when they were touring in the UK, I was overseas with Schenker, a band called Dawes.
Oh, I know Dawes. Yes.
Just brilliant stuff. So if when a Dawes concert comes up in one of these streaming things, I always try and jump in.
Well, we're looking forward to more live stuff. I've been to several concerts this summer, starting to feel more like my life was before this. So that's great. Cannot wait, Doogie, to see everything that Alcatrazz has coming up with live performances. Hopefully we'll see you guys in America, maybe at some point. The album comes out October 15th. Thank you so much for joining us, Doogie. Thanks for fighting through some technical difficulties this morning. Thank you so much, my friend.
Clint, good to see you. Stay healthy and well, everybody. Lots of love. Take care.
You as well, sir. Thank you.